Okay, well, thank you so much. It is a real honor for me to be here, to be part of this inspiring event aimed at igniting growth, success, and development among this amazing audience, because that's the most important part, that you guys are here, leading the topics and the ideas that are shaping our world. I also want to thank Cobian Marketing Group for putting together all these amazing panels for all of you and for all of us, and especially for bringing us these two guys. Please come to the panel so we can. These fascinating guys, so we can share ideas and learn from them. Learn from them, yes, of course. So you already heard a little bit about them. I think we're ready to start. I want to make sure that everybody's ready. Is everybody ready? Yes. Okay. So this panel is called Entertainment Do-It-Yourself, right? And the most exciting part of any do-it-yourself project is sharing it with the world. And what a better way to share anything with the world than with a selfie? Are you guys ready for a selfie time? Okay, okay. I think we have to do this all together. Let's do this and let's share with the world. Come, everybody together. Really quick, guys, please. Okay, better. Okay, please make sure everybody fit in here. That's why I brought my selfie stick. Everybody get together. Is everybody in the picture? I want to make sure everybody's here. Okay, smile. Let's take another one just in case. Hold on. That's part of the process. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Come on, Mario. Okay, hold on, and now I have to post it because otherwise, exactly. I'm gonna do it really quick so you can share the picture too. Okay, it's almost there. It's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, with the hashtag of the event. Okay, so find it and share it. Okay, now let's get down to business. Now we're ready. Do you want a couple of seconds so you can share the picture? Yeah? That's important, guys. It is important because we are talking about doing it yourself. And this is the way how we are doing it yourself every day, right? Okay, let's start asking our experienced guys here. Okay, entertainment industry. Since you started your career, okay, I forgot my microphone, I'm sorry. Since you started your career, what is the biggest change or the most important change that you have noticed in the entertainment industry and why?
Well, I do radio, Ignacio Sandoval Machine. I do Mega 96.3 in the morning with my co-host Roxy. And one of the major things that I noticed in my industry, for doing it for 15 years, is that it's no longer about being in Spanish as a locutor, like a DJ name, like, hey, what's going on? No, people don't want that anymore. They want a real person. So it has gone from a cartoonish character to being you. And I think that's where we are here today, to be you and present something of who you are to the world.
Wow, this is like, hold on. Is this aprendido? Okay.
Yeah, that's on now.
Hello, this is the voice of God. Okay, guys, my name is David Bianchi. Nice to meet you guys. Thank you for being here and participating. Thank you guys for putting this all together. I guess immediately what happens off the top of my head is because I'm an actor and a filmmaker. I write, I produce, and as you mentioned, quite a few things. And I'm in post-production on a feature film right now that we did for about $1 million. And one of the biggest changes that I found as a content creator is basically what I'm perceiving as the death of long form, which as a content producer to me is kind of an antagonistic to the fact that I'm in post-production on a feature film, right? But I think that it is because of the ones and zeros and the internet and streaming media, we are now, the biggest evolution is really that. is not just how do you get content, how do you find an audience, how do you retain an audience, and what exactly are you doing as a content creator that is breaking molds, and if you are producing feature films, what are you doing supplementally to support the long-form narrative to make sure that your narrative actually physically gets seen? And then, of course, further and beyond that is the distribution aspects of things, because this is no longer a position where, DVDs are the day of the dinosaur, so now films are releasing theatrically and VOD on the same day. Sometimes not even releasing theatrically, or even someone like myself, if we end up getting an exclusive Netflix release, we could very well make our equity back and then some, and then we're back in production. Do we get the glitz and glamour of a red carpet movie theater? No. But at the end of the day, it's about supporting a positive business model and keeping us constantly in a position where we can continue to make new content. So I think that that's one of the biggest components of change. And even as an actor too, are there any actors in here? Should I be talking about that? All right, I got one. Yay, go Thespian.
Have you guys lied to your boyfriend? That's acting. Oh, because guys don't lie.
But even as acting too, it's like you used to go into a room, you would audition a room, and you go for a TV show, and then you open a TV show, whatever. Now we are much more in a position to expand our own career and take a handle of our own career with short form content. Now, with all that being said, cameras are available to everybody, so excuse my language, you also have to understand that when you're doing it yourself, you are representing yourself. So you owe it to yourself to do the best possible job that you can, because there's a lot of bullshit out there, right? And just because you have a camera, shit in, shit out. You gotta know how to light, you have to know how to expose, you have to know how to write a script, you have to know how to tell a story visually to raise above the stuff that is fluttering the internet and creating all that noise.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm glad that you're talking about, you mentioned about it's not on? Yeah, it is on. You mentioned the importance of being yourself, to being able to transmit who you are, and you're talking about the ways how you communicate and all these new trends. So I want to talk now about viral celebrities. Do we have any viral celebrity here? No? Okay, we need to teach them some little tricks. Mario is a viral celebrity? Wow. Okay, we're seeing viral celebrities landing jobs in television, in movies, record deals, and we are seeing that they don't really need the traditional media platforms that so many crave, because they have been able to carve an audience by themselves. They are truly doing it themselves, right? So how do you think that these new technologies are actually changing the empowering these new people to put themselves out? And the most important question, how can those one become a viral celebrity? And can anyone become a viral celebrity?
Okay, yeah, anybody can. Look at Kim Kardashian. No, but literally, you guys, we go back to the idea of being yourself. And that's the best thing you can give the world, because if you really think about life, I'm not going to preach, promise, but if you really think about life, it's a one-shot deal. Point A, you drop the water, and then, point A, you're born, and point B, you're gone, right? But whatever you do in between, it's up to you. So this new platform of digital world has expanded everybody to have the ability to be themselves. And like you were mentioning, make sure if you do something online, it's something that represents you, and it's not going to come and hunt you in the future. As you guys are growing up and becoming professionals in the world, reputation is everything. If you want to go into this entertainment world, you have to maintain a good profile. But anybody can do that, and it's good because now it has opened the platform to not just only be just TV aspect, radio aspect, but this kind of like fictitious yet real world that is viral, and we can just check in at any time. It has opened up all these other opportunities that for people would never have that audience, but it's because there's a transition in being a consumer. If you really think about it, now the new consumers, they're saying that by 2016, around 40% of the current TV watchers at home are going to turn away from TV programming. That's sad for us because we make our living because of that. But that means we have to change our craft and evolve and become better people at what we do and providing the product. So to provide a product, you have different platforms. Before, for us, as you know, it wasn't as easy to get into my business and yours.
Yeah.
It's just challenging. Even now, we have to compete every day to be ourselves and to be better because there's 1,000 people behind us. But now that you have a double platform, for us it's a benefit because we can expand who we are, we have the name, and show something to the world. But somebody that wants to come up and become a star, all you have to do, I say, is be yourself. But make sure you give the world something that means something to you. And trust me, you'll be surprised when you see 1 million other people having the same feelings as you. So just be yourself and don't be afraid to be you and just give it to the world.
Yeah, I think that you make a lot of really, really valid points. And I think that one of the things that I think about when it comes to being an internet star, per se, like, you get sort of one shot, right? So let's say, for example, YouTube blow up. It can't be a substitute for substance. You know what I'm saying? So, like, even if you take Justin Bieber, for example, who is, his current career I'm not a big fan of, but we could use him as a very successful model for an internet star, right? At the end of the day, the kid has a good voice. Whether he decides to do cocaine and bang girls left and right, make a horrible image of himself, is up to him. But at the end of the day, he had a good voice. So record companies were like, this guy's great, he's got the look, he's got the walk, he's got the talk. And then, for example, you even look like Paris Hilton. Because she comes from the Hilton Empire, yeah, she exploded on a sex tape. But further and beyond that, she was able to create a persona that pop culture wanted to consume. And because she had financial backing, a lot of people don't know, like Paris, she would go to Earth Cafe and she would hire 40 paparazzis. And you guys walking across the street don't know that those people are hired. All you see is a blonde girl and there's 50 paparazzis following her. So you think she's a big deal. So she created her own hoopla, okay? And so through that, she created a persona that we decided to consume. And the same thing with Kim Kardashian, right? So there has to be some substance behind what it is that you're trying to create. So I think that if you want to be an internet breakout, you have to investigate in yourself what it is that you are. Are you a chef? Are you someone that's got a new way to look at mathematics? Are you someone that has up-and-coming apps that you want to promote? Whatever it is that you do, you can be a star and you have to find your community in the internet space because there's so much minutia there. And investigate that community, commit to that community, because those people are doing the same thing that you guys are trying to do. In terms of being a sort of DIY internet explosion. And then you gotta have staying power. You gotta have staying power. We have to continue to figure out ways to reinvent ourselves, and I think about that every day. You know, a lot of people in entertainment, you know, we let our egos take over when we catch a wave. I'm riding the wave, and I'll give you a metaphor with surfing. You catch that perfect wave, everybody's watching, you're like, ha ha, look at me. But eventually that wave's gonna break. And once that wave breaks, if you haven't thought about how you're gonna catch the next wave before this wave breaks, Americans can't remember past last Tuesday, let alone what TV shows or movies you shot, or what internet thing you did. I mean, we literally have like a 15 to 30 second attention span when it comes to the internet. So I hope there was some insight in there, but I think that ultimately you have to find out within yourself, find the staying power, and don't let what you put out there be a substitute for substance. And it goes back to what he said, which is just be yourself.
Great points. Do you want to add anything else?
No sex tapes, okay guys? Don't do that. That's not a good way to get famous.
That was very important.
Personal has got an empire. Hey, I look at it like this. I'm not promoting sex, but at the end of the day, making money is an art. Truly,
Yep.
does anybody disagree in this room that making money is an art? I don't disagree. I think that making money is truly an art form. And no matter which way you slice it or dice it, Paris Hilton came from a massive empire of money, so she had backing. But she is a continual stream of positive equity. And that's, unfortunately, sadly, an art form.
Thank you so much for giving us that strength. Now we can move forward with that positive thought. Okay, fans of Veronica Mars, the drama television series, rejoiced when they learned that star Kristen Bell and creator Rob Thomas were putting together a Kickstarter project to launch a movie. For those ones who are unaware, Kickstarter is one of those websites where you go to raise money for different type of projects. And the funder, in exchange, received different kind of gifts. In this case was stuff like autograph or producers, creditors or something like that. So how do you think that platforms like Kickstarter or GoFundMe, or so many, because there are so many out there right now, are empowering actors, writers, hosts, and everybody involved in the entertainment industry right now?
I think those are good things for people to really connect. That's one, and help each other out. Like with us, like coming from poor backgrounds, the only thing we know is our cousins, our uncles helping us out. But now it's opening the platform for other people that might have the same vision as you to help you. And it's good because it's giving you a test to show the world who you are, and really saying to these people, believe in me, because I'm going to put something out there that's going to make you proud. And it's kind of like an accountability thing, because it allows you to say, you know what? If I take this money, I have character, I'm not going to steal it from these people. So it's a good way to make everybody, I think, a better individual altogether, because the contributor is expecting something in return. The success might be good, the success might not be good, depends on whatever mood society was in, or the way you impacted them or not. But at least the idea that everybody feels like we can work together, that to me means a lot.
And it also, I want to make a quick comment here. I think you're saying that it might be good, or maybe it's not good. And I think that when you're receiving a lot of supports, that's a good sign. Yeah. And that is another way to measure what's going to happen with your idea, right?
Absolutely, and I know quite a bit about crowdfunding. There's two major components. There's Kickstarter, and then there's Indiegogo. Those are probably the most popular ones. And I spoke on panels for Indiegogo. I launched a crowdfunding campaign for a feature film that I'm in post on now, and we raised $20,000. So it works, right? But it is business, and you need to take it incredibly seriously. No matter what it is, whether you're trying to raise money for an invention or for a film or for something as an actor, you are putting yourself out there into the viral space. And you're sort of being naked and saying, look guys, this is my idea, please help, please help, please help. There are mechanical aspects as to how you're going to launch and successfully deliver a crowdfunding campaign. Now, on the networking side, I absolutely agree. Because another thing that it does for you is when you put yourself out there, you are forced to reinvigorate your community, right? You're forced to reinvigorate those relationships that you haven't even touched in 5 years. Because you need $5, you need $10, you need $13, whatever it is. And you're able to network. And then other people that are liking your idea or your platform or your film or your movie may share components of what it is that you're trying to do. So while you're reinvigorating old relationships, you're also instigating new relationships while holding yourself accountable. Because there's also something to be said about public failure, right? Because if you do decide to launch a crowdfunding campaign, and let's say, for example, your goal is $5,000 to make a short film, and you call your aunts, your uncles, your niece, your nephews, and all your best friends, and then you got $14,342.15. And then you got 2 days to go, and then all of a sudden you fail. What does that say about you?
Change your phone number.
Right. So there's also something to be said about that, so you really, really have to take that kind of stuff very seriously too, because it is your profession. Nobody wants to be told, I don't want to be told that David Bianchi failed. There's no way, no how. I didn't come to this city to fail. You know, so whatever it is that you're going to do in the crowdfunding campaign, look at it, investigate other programs, investigate other crowdfunding campaigns, look at how they did it, keep it realistic, do what you know you can do, because it's better to win a little bit than to try to win a lot and lose a lot of it. You know, Danny Trejo, I produced the movie with Danny Trejo, and I love Danny. He says to me, well, you know, Dave, well, look, I'd rather aim for the moon and miss than aim for the gutter and make it. You know, he's real simple like that, but that sort of language just transcends all disciplines. You know what I'm saying? So keep yourself realistic and do what you know you can, and then that way you will continue to succeed and empower yourself through the process.
Thank you so much, guys. Okay, let's talk now about YouTube. That's complicated. Okay, the chief executive of YouTube was asked at a panel in San Francisco if TV will be around in 10 years, and she said, maybe. I'm really worried about that because I work in TV. So YouTube now is producing more top programming than any Hollywood studio. How do you think, how do you think the entertainment industry is changing and adapting to this new trend?
Well, I think any TV channel, any radio station you guys listen to, they always say, we have an app, follow us, we have this. And I think that's the way they're gonna do it. The only difference I think between YouTube and regular TV, I think TV is gonna evolve to not only be channels, but if you buy a new TV right now, the smart TVs, they come with apps. You can watch your YouTubes there. So it's just gonna be like another channel where you can see more real stuff because it's people putting it out there. But at the same time, it's gonna be competitive for like the networks, and they have to evolve with their programming. And I think a lot of the layers that have filters for TV and radio are gonna come off because YouTube is kind of blunt. Anybody can watch anything and everything. And I think it's a benefit for us that we're in this business because it could help us evolve as individuals and really be who we are because, you know, behind the scenes, it's a lot of red tape. You cannot say a lot of things. I'm blessed to do a show where they let me be who I am and they say, just say what you gotta say, but I'm always aware that I have to be respectful and I thrive on, you know, giving values back to people and bringing that to the community, but I think more than anything, it's gonna open up the doors to a different source of information, and people are really gonna gravitate to it.
Yeah, I don't believe that television is going away at all. Let's talk about it. It's television. It is a device by which we receive information through a visual form. Okay, it just happens today to be on my phone or on my tablet or elsewhere. I embrace it. Now, I will say that right now the networks are shitting their pants, okay? Because this is for the first time in television history that you can now watch HBO without having to be subscribed to a major cable provider. What? They're freaking out. They don't know what to do with the transitions that's happening right now, but us. These are great opportunities for us because if you go back 10, 15 years ago, if you wanted to be in any sort of visual medium, you were confined to network television or you were confined to cable television and the hierarchies that existed within those infrastructures. See, now the internet has made it a little bit of the wild, wild west. And guess what? The gunslingers are winning. Okay? So let's take advantage of the fact that we have YouTube, that we have Vimeo, that we have all these ways that we can share our ideas, our personalities, empower our cultures, empower our communities, share our ideas, and forget the infrastructure. Because they're trying to catch up with us. They're trying to figure out how they can still monetize and keep themselves afloat. Because there is going to be a day where, you know, going to the movie theater is going to be like Days of Opera. You know, where it's going to be a big, big deal. Even now, it's a big deal. Get the family together, go to Universal City Walk, park the car, go all the way to the theater. Man, I better see Iron Man after all that. You know what I mean? Whereas now, it's like you can watch great content on any sort of medium, and that is just going to continue to evolve. So the notion of television as an entity will always exist. We're always going to want to be entertained. There's three things that people will always do, even the most desperate of measures. They'll always gamble, and they'll always want to be entertained. Unfortunately, that's just human nature. We want to get away and get out of ourselves. But let's be mavericks, right? Let's figure out how to take this wild, wild west and form it into our own universe so that we can continue to do great things and forget what the infrastructure says.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. All this information that you have been sharing has a lot to do with marketing. And now I want to talk about millennials. Millennials have been, many studies have said that they are the most educated group of people. And we're seeing them creative, very successful business ideas that are making millions of dollars when they're still under 30. So having education, talent, and the access to communicate whatever they want, whenever they want, this means having a lot of competition out there, guys, right? Right now we're thinking like, okay, how can I, just set myself apart from the rest of the competitors? So I want to ask you guys, what do you think, or what someone who wants to really create their own brand, what do you need to do to create your own unique brand and to set yourself apart from the rest of the competitors?
The number one thing I would say is don't be afraid. And I go back to how I started. Don't be afraid to be you. Me, my brand is I stand for being bilingual, being bicultural, but being human. Because at the end of the day, you know what? We're all the same. The only thing that separates us from who we are is the costume that society puts on us, the color of our skin. But if you close your eyes, we're all human. We're all the same people. So my brand is about being me, And I would say for anybody that's trying to build their brand, work around that, but search for who you are. Because trust me, there's a lot of people out there that are searching for the same thing, and you're just meeting each other in the same valley. And in my case, I can speak and say I'm doing radio, but I'm also jumping on the digital world too. I build a little studio in my house. I'm gonna do that just to have that. I'm gonna call it off air because I'm gonna have those conversations with people that I don't get to have on air and just be real. And I'm doing that in the digital world as well, and that's what it is. It's about networking. You guys are here, and you guys are investing in your future, which is the best thing you can do. And for you to be here on a Saturday and not be at home chilling or being with a friend eating, it means a lot because one day it'll pay off. Trust me, there's an investment. Invest in who you are, and that's gonna be the best platform for you to be yourself out there. And don't be afraid to.
Yeah, great points. And I think that it's also about telling stories. I mean, I come from a narrative background, whether I'm in front of the camera or behind the camera. There was an old research study that talked about the sort of hierarchy of tribal communities. And throughout the course of their days, they would work and they would function, and they wouldn't really congregate very often. But the time that they actually shared emotional moments was beside the campfire. And most of those emotional moments were told vis-a-vis someone telling stories. How many times have you been in a social situation, someone's telling a great story, and whether you eavesdrop, you just kind of want to chime in and like see what's going on over here. You know, it's like, even if you're doing a 6-second Vine, the badass Vine videos, those tell stories, right? It's just a quick story. Like, yo, you gotta see this. This is crazy. The dude, he flipped over the thing into the thing, and it was funny. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? It has a narrative structure. So I think let's start there. Figure out what your story is if you're just going to be yourself. Hi, I'm so-and-so. This is what I do. This is what I'm interested in. I want to get to know you. Put your story out and then find the like-minded communities. So if you're doing, stand-up comedy, because at the end of the day, I was just having a conversation with a gentleman outside. We can make really polished content or really funny content. But there's so much going on in the internet that you could have a really shiny Corvette with no motor in it. You know what I mean? So you have to figure out. That's terrible. Yeah, so you have to figure out how to keep that motor running because your content is only as good as your audience. You know, almost as much as a painting is only as good as its viewer.
I love that. And yes, I think that making sure that you have something to offer is really, really the main goal and is the most important part of everything. Okay, guys, I had my chance. Now it's your turn. You have a few minutes to ask a few questions. Go ahead. And maybe then you can just pass to the other.
Hi, my name is Alejandra. I'm a student leader at Cal Poly Pomona Polytechnical School. I have a quick question for both of you. Back in September of last year, I read an article about the gentleman named Jose Zamora, who after a long time had to drop the S from his name, and by being Joe, in an interview session, he was able to get finally a job in his career.
I read the same article.
And
I did.
So the question I'm asking for you, after knowing your background, what was the moment where you realized I am enough and I do not have to change to succeed in this career? Even though entertainment is very, I guess, competitive, when was that one moment where you realized that you are enough?
That's a really packed question.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was a rude awakening when I went to college. I went to UC Riverside, and it was really crazy. Yeah, Highlanders. It was crazy because it was only like 20 Latinos in my class. And I was like, wait, you know? There's Asians, there's other cultures, white, blacks, and we're like, oh my God, we're minorities. So, in a way, I felt pressure to be different, and I wanted to fit in, but then I realized, why? I'm standing out alone. Why do I have to fit in? I can be myself. So, that was the moment when I said, you know what? Those people don't come from my world, I don't come from theirs. We both have different views. Why don't we just be who we are and share that with each other? And there's still a lot of people with closed minds out there that are really, really, thinking a few years ago, but realize this, who you are today is the new generation. We were the bridge generation that experienced both worlds, the closed-minded and the open-minded, and we're in between. But it gives me great, great pleasure to see that you guys are the new generation, that it's open-minded, and it's taking away all those dumb ideas, stereotypes of preconditioning that you see in society. If you see somebody, let's try to be better individuals and just create that sense of being you, and people will gravitate to that because at the end of the day, separation has been an idea that somebody implanted in you. You don't have to be different. Be who you are. Trust me, people will turn.
You know, it's funny. You look at like people have been changing their names since the days of Ellis Island, right? And for whatever it's worth, you have to really decide for yourself, how do you want to work your industry, okay? Because you can, I'm not giving anybody an advice, but let's say, for example, like this gentleman that was in that article, if he is willing to have a macro perspective, let's say, for example, your name is Manuel Gonzalez de Zacatecas, I don't know.
Hey, that's my deal.
Well, let's say he changes his name to Mike Castle, right? And then through that process, he gets hired and he climbs the chains of his industry. And when he's to the point where people really admire him and respect him, he decides to say, you know what? My business card now says Manuel Castillo de Zacatecas. Take it or leave it. Or you can, go your traditional route and say, you know what? I'm going to stand by my pillars of strength. This is my tradition. This is my heritage. This is my culture. I'm not going to steer away from that. It's really going to boil down to how you perceive your field and how you want to work your industry. Because at the end of the day, your principles aren't going to go anywhere, and no one can take your blessings. They're already in place as long as you don't throw them away. I work, unfortunately, in a very white industry. The people that vote at the academy, for example, are predominantly white men over the age of 55. That is 86%. Now, the Screen Actors Guild, for example, is only 10% African American, is 82% Caucasian, and is about 7.5% Latino, Pacific Islander, or other. So that's staggering. And it's not because I'm not a good enough actor, it's because the content that's being created by the networks and the studios is being created by white people with white hair for white people. You look at like Latino exploitation or black exploitation. My job and what I'm doing is I'm making films that are in line with quote unquote white comedy, but are infiltrated with brown faces. So that I can gain the trust of the powers that be and eventually get to the point where I can make the story of Sojourner Truth, where I can tell epic stories about the Latino struggle, because there's also a big problem with. So I have to figure out, how do I want to manipulate and maneuver through my experience in order to rise to the top, so I can gain enough star power and strength to create the content that I've designed and God given to do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
And I just want to add that for that, you have different platforms, as we said. Now you have social media, you have the YouTubes. So the only excuse you have is yourself if you don't want to do something.
It's your decision. Anybody else? Okay, first.
My question is, I know you guys have touched base a lot on being authentic, and I think it's wonderful that we can see both perspectives, because you're more like on camera, but maybe you're limited more to script, and for you, the challenge of not being seen. How do you guys face that in being authentic? You being a little more limited, maybe like with script or something, and you not being able to be seen.
Well, for me it's good because I never have a bad day with my hair, I'm good. No, you know what? It goes back to the different platforms. Like, I want to be seen, and that's one of the things we want to implement. We want to make radio more open to people, and I will eventually want to have a TV show, but to me, being yourself, I go back to that. That's the key to it. Be who you are, and don't hide behind the powers. Because they're going to tell you how you got to be, but at the end of the day, they'll never take away who you are. So just be yourself and don't worry about what people are saying, because I use my social media to show who I am. My voice comes out on the radio, but you can see my personal life through my social media. More than anything, my channels are comedy because I feel like people need to smile more. You see snippets of my life here and there, but when I really talk, I do messages for people. Things that I learn about in life, things that I go through. And that's my way of putting myself out there for people and just being myself, because nobody controls that but me.
Yeah, and I'll try to be quick. Your authenticity is what you perceive yourself to be, and your perception of the world is your self-estimation, which boils down to your self-esteem, right? So how you perceive yourself and your authenticity, people are going to absorb that, and they're going to run with it, they're going to not. We have to create our own content, period. Whether you're an architect, you gotta build your own buildings. Whether you're an actor, you gotta create your own content. Because without that, we're gonna be stuck with the mechanism of what's already in place. You know, that's I started producing as an opportunity for myself as an actor. I came to LA thinking Hollywood was waiting for me. I showed up and I was on an air mattress eating ramen noodles, as a waiter slanging tables. You know, so I started producing as an opportunity as an actor, and through that process, I gained quite a good acting career. You know, so I think that really is just, take a hold of what it is that you want to do and excel. Excel. I mean, I was blessed. Gina Rodriguez just won a Golden Globe. You know, she's a friend of mine. I was in Philly Brown with her. I've known her for years. And to see her win that was just mind-blowing. You know, to beat out Julie Louis-Dreyfus. What? It's all wrong. It's all wrong, but it's all right in the right ways. And, we manifest our careers. And that movie was, I got a long story about that movie. But anyways, the point is just...
Posted on YouTube, on the social media, the story. We want to know the story. But we're running out of time, and I want to give her the chance to ask her question. Are you sure? No, we want to learn from that.
So I know you guys definitely stress this whole idea about being yourself, and you also did mention that your work is only as good as your audience. But I'm wondering, as a writer myself, if you have any advice about how important it is to get over this fear of being bold when it comes down to producing your content, and how do you refrain from being too raw?
I mean, this audience is really smart. I like that. Very good question.
I'm completely effing unfiltered. But I come from a school of thought that I go based on my instincts. And at the end of the day, people pleasing is a character defect. I cannot spend my time obsessing on whether I'm going to make you guys happy. My job is to be focused on good work. I'm not concerned with the millions of dollars, because if I do good work in this business, fame and wealth are synonymous with good work. So just do whatever good work speaks to you, because there have been a million writers that have gained very illustrious careers based on controversy. Look at Jack Kerouac, for example. Look at maybe even Perez Hilton, for crying out loud. I mean, he's successful. He's not a good writer, but he's based his career on chaos. So don't ever be afraid, especially with a pen. I mean, that's freedom of speech. You have every right to use that pen to whatever your advantage seeks. Talk to God. Let God dictate to you how you should deliver your message. Because your conscience will tell you when you're fucking up. It will tell you, and God will talk to you. But if God says you're good, run it. Because this is your career. How do you want to be perceived? Do you want to be perceived as edgy, or do you want to be perceived as right-wing? It's completely up to you.
And at the end of the day, what you're putting out there is the world that you're creating, that is coming out of your imagination. So it's an artist presentation. Like we were saying earlier, the whole paradigm is shifting. The corporations are no longer having that power that they wanted to have, and they had. Now the power's in the people, and it's evolving to that level. So what you're going to say, it's your world. It's a story. It's not necessarily, it can be fiction, it can be realism, but whatever you're saying is going to be you. And you never know. Like, you look at all the great novels that have been written that really changed people's lives. You could be the one changing somebody's life. So don't be afraid to be you. And I think you guys are in a good position right now with your generation. The only thing that I would stress is don't let anybody else influence you. Be you. And at the end of the day, be good to others.
Thank you so much, guys. I only want to add, we are truly living in exciting times where we can share everything with anybody at any time. But when you share your passion with the world, that's when the magic happens. So share your passion with the world, and thank you so much for coming here today and making this enlightening panel. Thank you.
By the way, guys, I brought a bag of DVDs. If you guys want some DVDs or stuff that I produced, everything, you guys can go over. I will say, FYI, it's very dark adult content, just so y'all know. But we were nominated for the Macan Award for a couple of the short form projects around here. You guys are more welcome to take them. And believe in yourselves, you guys are awesome.
Do you have time for another selfie? Yeah?
Let's do the selfie with no filter, okay?
Don't forget the hashtag the picture once you guys forward it to hashtag Lit College Tour. Leadership, innovation, and transformation. Hashtag it. And go take a picture in front of the...
Selfie of the year.
Okay, everybody get get together again. Is everybody getting in there? Yeah? Smile. 1, 2, 3. One more, just in case.
Hold on.
One. Mario.
I'm gonna take the
Oh, okay.
So which one does she post?
picture of the selfie stick. Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Yes, we did it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Dude, I'm gonna do a whole panel on selfie sticks.
Yeah. Hi. Nice to meet you too.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank
you are
you.
like the best moderator.
Oh,
of the day
thank
by
you.
far.
Oh my gosh, that's
So
awesome.
amazing.
Thank
So
you.
you're a newscaster?
I'm a
sorry.
newscaster.
I need to like get the thing. Where
Are
do
you studying?
Yes, I go to USC.
You see,
Yeah, I'm in their
I
business
was there
school.
last weekend.
Wait, for the town hall?
Yes.
Town and gown?
Yes,
Yeah,
it was
oh my God,
awesome.
Jason told me that he was there also. What was it for? Like
This panel is called Entertainment Do It Yourself, right? And the most exciting part of any do it yourself project is sharing it with the world. And what a better way to share anything with the world than with a selfie? Are you guys ready for the selfie time? Okay. I think we have to do this all together. Let's do this and let's share with the world. Come, everybody together. Really quick. Guys, please.
oh my God, better than Ellen DeGeneres.
Okay, better. Okay, please make sure everybody fit in here. That's why I brought my selfie stick. Everybody get together. Is everybody in the picture? I want to make sure everybody's here. Okay, smile. Let's take another one just in case. Hold on. That's part of the process. Okay, 1, 2, 3.